Hello, this is Will the Dreamer coming to you for episode number 6. So, dreamers, I'm going to tell you a story about a man who planned his life very well, be able to retire early and offer service to other people and still enjoy his life and his hobbies throughout the time. So, let me break into 3 parts: the early career, his retirement, and then his volunteerism. So first of all, this is Scott P. He is the physician, but he started off by going to college in Baylor, excellent school in Texas. He got into 3 medical schools, and he chose to go to Kansas State Medical School. It's more economical. Then he went to Michigan State to do a residency in OBGYN. It's about women's health and also delivering baby and surgery in that area. Now, after that, he came to Cape Girardeau and worked in Cape Girardeau for 30 years. And excellent physician, very pleasant to work with, no nonsense, straightforward. And at the age of 57, he planned all the way along to have enough health savings account and he can retire. He has no major health challenges, and with his wife, they have no kids, and they decided that they would rather go travel around the world. He has been on 6 continents, all over Europe, parts of Asia, and best trip is in South Africa in the safari. But going back, after this, some people retired, they look for something to do, some people got bored. He's looking at volunteerism. So let me tell you that there's an opportunity with the Church of Nazarene. They're organizing to go to Papua New Guinea for missionary work. And it is about 3 months out of a year. You go there, it's a long distance, you pay your way there, but they put up the living expense and you pay for your own food. So let me say one thing about Papua New Guinea. I have some idea where that is. It's really about less than 150 miles north of Australia, and it's a few hundred miles away from Indonesia. It's an island split into half. Half of that belongs to Indonesia, and the eastern part is called Papua New Guinea. They declared independence, have their own sovereignty in the late 1970s. So let me go back to Dr. P. Most people volunteer somewhere in town, somewhere close, but this is far off, halfway around the world, and he went there 12 times over 12 years. Initially, 3 times a month, and the last 2 times is about 2 times a month. So let me tell you a little bit about his experience, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the country. Now, he offered the service, he was there, and they only have family practice. The medical system is rather basic. They only have family practice, not much of any subspecialists. So he was able to help with the difficult gynecological cases, especially for pregnancy, the obstetrical cases, and help with the surgery there. And he have to take some calls, but basically you work 8 hours and it's real work. Now, the living arrangement is a country not really as safe, and it's a slightly poor country that they have a compound for all the healthcare volunteers to stay there. Some are paid people, others are pure volunteers, but the volunteers stay in this compound. You have fellow Americans, Canadians, British, and some Australians. And you have other fellow physicians, anesthesiologists, nurse practitioners, and 4th-year medical student. So you have quite a few people. For social life, they invite each couple to their place and socialize. On the weekend, they go to the market and they buy things, and it's blessed. And so it's really enjoyable, and he offered his service. Let me tell you 2 or 3 things about Papua New Guinea. Overall, there are different areas not too safe, and there are lots of tribes. There's 800 languages. That's surprising. English is mainly used there, but not everybody knows English. And Dr. P really speaks some native language, and he was able to communicate. And also that the people bring their own book that contains their medical records, and you just sign it and write it. They bring it to the pharmacy, and the government pay for a lot of that. Others are through donation. Now, going back to Dr. P. So all the food were the different types, and mainly a tuber type of the food, such as sweet potato and cassava plant, and those. But surprisingly, Dr. P likes them. It's not easy for Americans to adapt to different diets. Now, there are lots of fruit, and the meat is real seafood because they are island, and there's many seafood and chicken. And seems like pork is at a higher level, that they use it for special occasion. Otherwise, that's sparingly. So they were over there, and let me tell you one or two things in preparing for this podcast is that I found out that, well, there's different tribes. They still subsistence, growing crops, and not too much tourism. And it's really not safe to swim in the river or around the seaside, because they are saltwater crocodile, and they do bite and kill people. And also you have to watch for other safety reasons. Now, the Dr. P volunteered there, but in the surrounding area, just as Australia's pretty close, it's great scuba diving. That is his passion. Indonesia, there are great areas of scuba diving. Of course, he scuba dived in other areas. And he has been to Europe and to Asia, a lot of different countries. And in his 50th year anniversary to his wife, they're going to Iceland. Now, they don't have any children. That makes, volunteer a possibility and going so far away. But the good comes back to you. This is somewhat unusual. And sometimes people ask, why anybody interested in Papua New Guinea at all? There are people who are interested in military history. Second World War, there are a lot of military equipment, airplanes that got shot down, and other bases that were there. And it was the invaded, taken over by the Japanese. Then the British took it over, and after a while, the Australian took over until in the late 1970s, that Papua New Guinea become its own country. So right now, Dr. P is still traveling around the world, do a lot more scuba diving, and enjoy his life. We all admire people who can really go far and offer service, and it really takes a community. So I hope that we all learn something and get something out of this. And I will give you the exciting news that we are expanding, and we will have some more interviews and maybe live events to come. So in the meantime, keep on dreaming until we talk again. Don't forget to subscribe.